Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a reading for you, where I've been meditating and tracking the movement of the planet Venus, which has been making contacts with most of the outer planets in October, early October. So Venus has already contacted Chiron, Jupiter, and possibly Uranus, not sure which one. Jupiter for sure, Saturn in the first week, and it has also connected with Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune in this current week that we're in, right around the middle of October. And this is tracking the way in which we have separated ourselves from the past by surrendering to it, by no longer struggling against it or trying to figure it out in hindsight. And instead, we're enriching ourselves emotionally by simply allowing ourselves the feelings to feel the experiences in a way that helps us understand them at a core level. And this is improving our ability to manifest with feelings from our heart in the present moment. So this is affecting all of us uniquely. And for you, Gemini, I have received the Chariot card as the overall energy for this reading, a beautiful card that emphasizes self-acceptance. And this is being amplified by Venus's energy that helps you recognize and value your worth, your contribution, your presence, knowing that you are worthy of pursuing your dreams. And this is critical as you have released the defaults of the past, the triggered behaviors that you've often engaged in. And underneath the deck, we have the Sun. So this is in many ways by releasing the past in a way that it almost feels as though it's disappearing from your energy. This is a liberation that you are celebrating through your focus on your self-worth, your value, and your values overall, what you value most, and being yourself, being who you are without concern for how it appears to others is a major victory for you. In the present, we're going to look there first. We have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is describing this long-held desire to actually move away from the past that you has supported you to wherever you are now, without judgment, recognizing that the past to a large extent has given you the relationships, the emotional experiences that have built your method of interaction, your means to communicate and be in relationship, not only with people, with others, but with your passions, your desires. And I see that you have gained the courage to actually go for something that is more challenging, but you're absolutely clear is in the wheelhouse of your path, your destiny, your mission. In the past, the Queen of Cups is representing this beautiful core of energy that you are building up, that is evolving as you work more and more fearlessly with your emotional state, with your feeling nature. This is where you recognize the wealth of opportunities that are embedded in even the most challenging relationships. And so that power you are again using to heal self, to attend to your own needs, to prioritize yourself in a way that does not make you vulnerable, but celebrates the vulnerability that is at the core of your courage, your bravery. So part of the kind of at least to me, somewhat of an unexpected twist is that this release of the past is not a release of your protections or your wisdom. It isn't as though releasing the past has stripped away all that came before. It's not a loss of history. It's actually your maturity and ability to understand what your past has taught you about who you are now, and allows you to choose on the basis of your heartfelt desires and ambitions. In the future, the Empress card, this is really quite beautiful. The Empress is about the evolution of this powerful energy of love that has been translated by you into everything that you do. This is the way you love, the way you exchange energy of all sorts, the way you work with people, your attunement to their needs, and your ability to model productive behavior for them. This is you as the nurturer of the best in others in order to accomplish the most ideal and reflective product that you are creating. This is building from the inside out. So this represents a tremendous sense of identifying your mission, whatever that mission is for you. And particularly for Geminis, it often revolves around communication, the way we talk to others, the way we understand that they need to be given information and data so that you are improving your sense of authenticity in your communications. And that is recognized by others and provides them with the necessary emotional satisfaction that they need. That you have vetted something in your personal experience, and that's a recommendation. That's a positive place from which to instruct others. I'm going to clarify these cards with the Benicio del Toro has published a deck of tarot cards that I've had for years, and I'm using them on this event of October, upcoming all of the cultural celebrations around harvest, and moving into the time of the thinning of the veil. So I will also finish with an oracle card from the Seed and Sickle. If you're finding that this reading is resonating with you so far, please like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate all the ways that you support me, understanding that you contribute to the growth of my work. So thank you for that in advance. I'm going to start with the past. The Queen of Cups in the past is clarified by the Justice card. I always seem to have this deck upside down. And the Strength card. Beautiful. You have understood and internalized the experiences of growth from what has been exceedingly challenging, some field in which you did not find an appropriate place, or that your assumption of responsibilities were over and above what was appropriate for you. This is already describing a family system that may be a part of your background in which you overgave in order to get some measure of attention, support, recognition. This is your response to very conditional love that you were given. So in order to receive some attention and nurturance, you had to actually do more, overgive, be hyper responsible. The Strength card is indicating just the amount of power, superhuman power, that was required for you, perhaps in the case of a family system as a child. You had to be an adult in some way, parent an adult, or parent a caregiver, be responsible to the unit as a whole in a way that was particularly difficult, was actually grueling, that there never was any let up from the expectations of you. And you're really using those experiences to see yourself as capable, empowered, and particularly clear about how you must prioritize your self-care, your self-understanding, and ultimately what it is your heart wants. In the present, the Eight of Cups is clarified by the Six of Wands and the Three of Swords. So I feel like there's more cards here, but we'll take this. There's victory in your ability to break free from this past, from a pattern, from a whole series of behavioral patterns, even triggers that you have persevered in confronting. This is looking at your fears, looking at your shame, at your guilt, whatever those behaviors that were uncomfortable, that you'd rather avoid, but that you over time recognize were the actual barriers to the achievement that you desired. So you have been victorious in conquering, in identifying those patterns. And of course, as you might understand, working your way through these barriers is not as simple as complete, finished, signed off, ever really. We continue to process our past as we grow, because old challenges may look differently as we mature. And so identifying these patterns and being victorious in breaking the chains, those patterns in some way through your ability to work for the collective whole in an appropriate role, in an appropriate relation to the whole, so that you're not taking on responsibility for everyone's needs. You're understanding how your needs match the needs of others, and your contribution is matched by the contribution of others. This is where you have evolved to. This procedure, this process of dealing with those uncomfortable truths that you are recognizing, is the ability to advance towards a major challenge, a challenge you understand is necessary to meet and engage in order to achieve a heartfelt dream. In the future, the Empress card is clarified by the Two of Wheels, which is the Two of Pentacles, and if I can pick this up, the Seven of Swords. There's two cards here, but I'm not going to pull the other card up. But I can't help it. Okay, that's the 6 and 7 of Swords, so I'm going to put it back the way it was. That doesn't feel right. The Two of Pentacles is about how you're using this power of contribution, creativity, growth, attunement, working as part of a collective to integrate the very lessons from your past into your present moment. In other words, you are shifting and aligning yourself more and more accurately to the goals you wish to pursue. Goals you once believed were not achievable by you or were not for you. So it is important to recognize the victory of this. You're now in a position to approach dreams, potentials that you once were told were not for you, or were told yourself that they could never be achieved. If they were achieved, you were not worthy of those. So that is a major victory and growth, and way that you are still engaging with the lessons learned, the emotions experienced, the heaviness of inappropriate burdens and responsibilities for others. The Seven of Swords is indicating ways in which you were spoken to, spoken about, or have spoken to others, and the way in which a kind of hypercritical approach, one that doesn't even recognize the judgment embedded in certain kinds of feedback, probably language that you absorbed as a child, ways that you were measured and judged, and ways that despite the pain and suffering you experienced as a result of being found more often than not quite up to the mark. That internalization also means that you have unwittingly responded to others in a similar way. So that now that you are confronting these patterns in ways that you've been triggered, you can begin to evaluate your speech, filter your speech more carefully in ways that release any judgment by you about the status of others or their productivity. And this is important because as a natural teacher or leader, a model that others look up to, what you do becomes absorbed by others, has an impact on others that could have an unintended result of squashing creativity, squashing individuality. And I do not believe that that is your goal. I'm going to finish up this reading with Seed and Sickle, and hope that so far this has been insightful to you. And I'm pulling the Magnolia, one of my absolute favorites. And I'm going to read the Dawn guidebook. The guidebook number 8, which is in many decks, it is a strength card. In this deck, it is the 11 card. And strength and justice in many decks switch places. So I'm going to call this, since you've gotten both cards, I'm going to call this number 8. And that actually makes me think about another aspect of the healing that you're doing, the struggle for justice, for fair treatment, for equity. This is something that you had personalized for so long, feeling yourself to be outside of social norms in some way, feeling excluded from the mainstream. And so much of your early struggle was against that sense of marginalization, that you were an outcast, an outsider. Therefore, you received less than positive attention in the norm when attention was received at all. And so this is something that you are working through in your strength. I believe you are, for many of you, releasing this idea of not belonging, not being included. It isn't that you are seeking inclusion in some predetermined group, but in recognizing your strengths, you realize that you belong. You have a place. That sense of aloneness or the lonely struggle is really always protected and always has been protected. And for many of you that have experienced what might appear to be a difficult life or chapter of life, you will note that there has always been protection provided through signs, through symbols, that you recognize the sense, a kind of bubble that has encircled you at the most difficult times that you have engaged. So the magnolia reads, when magnolia bloom, the flowers come out long before the leaves do. This miraculous flowering gives them an advantage over other plants which are still busy putting out their first leaves. But it's only possible as a result of careful preparation the season before that allows them to beat the trend. If you want to be one step ahead of others, it may not be possible immediately, but now is a good time to prepare for the next season and make sure that you have everything you need to be the first to bloom. Thank you, Gemini. If you enjoyed this content, check out more content here. Thank you for your likes and subscribes, and until next time, namaste.